everybody. I hope you saw last night's show, and my refrain is, if you didn't, you may not want to watch this, because I'm going to spoil it for you. But I have to say, I love the show. I love the challenge. I love the breadth of the challenge. The 4 elements: earth, air, fire, water. And the fact that it's so open-ended that the designers, well, I can't say they can do anything, but it's open to a lot of creative latitude, which I think is a wonderful thing. The designers, however, don't agree with me. They like something that's more tangible, that has more of a projected outcome, as opposed to something that's rather amorphous and can go anywhere. And they like a challenge that allows them to have benchmarks that are clear and tangible in order to evaluate their own work. So there was a lot of frustration around that challenge and a lot of turmoil, and you saw how some of them barely finished. In fact, oh, poor Ben, I miss Ben already. He just was entirely too ambitious, as were a number of them, but the rest of the pack made it work, I have to say. And when I visited Ben at his work table and saw that he'd already cut all the fabric, and I said in my blog on mylifetime.com that it was a bit as though he was building a suit of armor out of myriad pieces, none of which were any bigger than about this. And he just didn't have time to execute what was incredibly ambitious, especially the tailoring aspect of the jacket. And I feel sick about the whole thing. However, given the fact that it's now the Project Runway Olympics and a designer's going to go home by 100th of a second, I have to say the right person went home, given all the circumstances. I will say I was very surprised that Anthony came out of that unscathed. I was so perplexed by really the lack of relationship between the top or the bodice of his dress to the skirt of it, not to mention that slit that came all the way up to here. Didn't really, but it seemed that way. Especially since in last week's episode he was calling Emilio's bathing suit vulgar, or maybe he said it was in poor taste. At any rate, Anthony, what about that skirt? So, a very interesting set of challenges, and I was thrilled for Jonathan. It's about time, and I've been saying since the show, well, since about episode 3, that Jonathan and Ben are the two of the most talented. They're all talented, but 2 extremely talented designers who've not gotten any recognition, really. And finally, Jonathan won, and deservedly so. That look that he created was magnificent. And regrettably, Ben got a lot of attention yesterday, but it was for the wrong reasons. Though we did get to see more of who he is as a designer, and we were able to see more of his conceptual point of view, and that's a very, very good thing. So, I was on the subway platform this morning, and I had someone come up to me to say how much she loved the show last night, and asked, but why do you have to do all that product placement? To which I responded, because without our sponsors, without responding to their needs and their desires, we couldn't do the show. I mean, we're wholly dependent upon them to be able to fund the show. So, while on the one hand, yes, I recognize your concerns, and you think maybe it looks a little too forced, maybe it looks a little contrived, at the same time, we need our sponsors. We need our product placement partnerships. They're very, very important to us. And you're going to see more. But I'd like to think that we do it with taste, and that we do it with respect, and that we in no way compromise the work of the designers. I certainly don't believe that we do in any way, shape, or form, and it's never come up from the designers. The designers have never said to me at any point, why do we have to do these things with Garnier or L'Oreal? No, they actually enjoy it, and as we know, the model's look has much more to do than just with her apparel, just with the clothes. It's the entire look, head to toe. So we need to all recognize that. So next week, we have 8 designers standing. It's the last opportunity that we have to have teams, so we're going to. And you know what that means. Sturm und Drang, and all flavors of drama. You'll see. So, I'll see you next week. Bye.